Gary, and thanks so much for being here today on the Welcome Stranger stream.
Thanks for having me, man.
My pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. We just got done cracking the Topps Chrome Gary Vee. What is that about? I can't believe you actually got Topps to make them. Was that a dream come true or what?
Massive dream come true. You actually have the first box. We have 26 coming out here today in the States. Cherry Collectibles in Down Under will have them. I'm not sure if they get them today or the next day or two, but we're in year 2. You have the rare year 1 box. So I'm glad you got to rip that up. Yeah, I mean, when I'm 12 years old and I'm buying 35 cents a pack Topps trading cards at the local corner store and falling in love with the hobby of trading cards. If you told me, 30 years from now, you're gonna have your own trading card, brand. And I was very affected by Garbage Pail Kids. When I was 10, Garbage Pail Kids came out and they took over the country. They took over our schools. They were so popular. So I was very affected by that. And this obviously is a little bit more similar to that than it is, let's say, rugby or AFL or football or basketball cards. And so, yeah, I would have laughed you out of the room. I would have said you're crazy. So it's humbling. It's a dream come true. And most exciting, especially for the people watching this show, I know most people don't know VFriends, have not gone deep yet into VFriends. If they go to Card Ladder or 130 Point or eBay completed items, they will be flabbergasted by the prices, the demand, the size of the community, and that's incredibly humbling.
Absolutely. And you've done a whole thing with the NFTs, and people can get into, your events and things like that with the NFTs, and it sort of works in with everything. And I guess
it's a digital brand, right? There's digital collectibles, there's physical. I would say the hottest thing in our world is the comic books right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we're coming out twice a month and they're the original, for all these characters, because it's a new universe. We're in our Marvel golden era, meaning, everything is first appearance or origin story. And so we've actually exploded in coins, pure silver and gold coins. And, we're really building out this collectible universe. So for everybody who's listening, trading cards is my number one, and then it's action figures and then comic books. But there's people that collect pins or coins, or something else, even hats and sneakers and apparel. So over time, over the next decade, we'll build everything.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned we've actually got a couple of collectibles that we sort of brought along. I know you're like obviously an expert in the space, but we sort of thought maybe we'd bring a couple of things along and show you and get your opinion on it, and maybe you can tell us what you think about maybe the IPs or the collectibles themselves or whatever it is.
Let's do it.
So first up, we've got a something that I believe you have, the first edition PSA 10 Charizard from Base Set.
Yeah,
with this card?
this is the holy grail right now, right? Pokemon is considered the most valuable intellectual property in the world. It is fairly new. You're talking about 1995, 1996. So you're talking about an incredibly young IP. So this is the blueprint, right? This is what entrepreneurs and storytellers like myself look most up to. Obviously, Disney and Marvel and DC and, there's many other incredible IPs, Hello Kitty, things of that nature. But this is the North Star. And yeah, I have the Shadowless first edition PSA 10. And so it's the gold standard.
Next up, we have I don't know if you've been into, or to give you an idea how long I've been buying graded Pokemons for, Gary, I paid $2,000 for this card. So
good for you.
Yeah, this was like right back in the day. Welcome Stranger's been around for about 10 years on the whole live streaming sort of platform, and I know you are a massive ambassador for live shopping, and we appreciate everything you do in that space as well. This is, are you around One Piece at all, Gary? Have you followed the One Piece at all?
I'm incredibly familiar with what's going on with One Piece, and and I'm aware that it's been around for a very long time, much longer than a lot of Americans realize. I personally don't consume the content or know the character base as well, and don't know the collectible So for example, this card is not something I'm aware of how sought after or how special it is. So in the macro, unlike Pokemon, where both in the macro and the micro, I'm aware of the collection. This is, I'm just been so deep in VFriends the last 5 years. It's been harder for me to go deep on net new things.
Yeah.
But I'm familiar with the manga and the anime and obviously the trading cards, and I always love a good pristine CGC 10, so that's exciting.
Absolutely. Well, I'm actually, you know, just in case you do want to get involved, I'm actually here with my very good mate, Matt Tester. Say g'day.
G'day, Gary. It's a pleasure to have you on, mate. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you so much.
And we actually found here in Melbourne, Australia, the only deposit or hoard of these 2005 One Piece cards. We actually tracked these down locally. And they just happened to be in Melbourne, Australia. It's quite a long story, but I don't know how they got here, but we found them. This is just before the modern One Piece cards came out. In 20...
This was 2005. Bandai printed 2 One Piece sets across 0506, and they completely failed and fell flat. And this one guy who had a little card store in Melbourne had 90% of what was left in the world. He bought it out, and he had it in these boxes. And show him the pack one.
Well, actually, what I was going to say, Gary, is we've actually got a pack right here, and these have gone from like $8 a pack all the way up to sort of $1,000, $1,200 a pack. And in case you want to, if you ever want to do a deep dive, Gary, I'm going to send you this pack just to start off your vintage One Piece collection.
Thank you, my friend.
Oh,
Thank
mate.
you.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's all about the hunt, isn't it, Gary, with these collectibles? And it's amazing what you can find.
And when did you guys go and find those?
It was about 6 months before the modern One Piece dropped. So 2022?
Almost 2021. I know that the
2021?
first time we submitted them for grading, PSA actually knocked us back.
Yeah.
Said no, we're not grading them, and we tried again, and CGC were the first ones to grade them. And eventually, 6 to 12 months later, the modern...
About 3 years ago, we sort of found them, and that was when the modern ones came out, so it all happened pretty quick. It's amazing what you can find when you look, that was a big one for us. This one here, Gary, you've probably never seen before, because this was an Australia and New Zealand exclusive. These are called Oddbods, and you were talking about
Garbage pail.
Garbage pail kids.
Very similar.
Very, very similar. These glow in the dark. They also had they used temperature sensitive ink. So like they'd have, this might be a cool idea for VFriends. Like I think the whole glow in the dark idea.
Yeah,
is
I'm a big fan of, we talk a lot about glow in the dark. We gave our license to VFriends to Topps, obviously. So we don't control that, but we do stickers. And we've played a lot with glow in the dark. I could not agree with you more. I think there's something there.
And another thing that these cards did, which was quite revolutionary, that I haven't seen done anywhere else, is the ones that say hot on them just here. That's like the rare variant. And on the hot cards, there'd be an ink patch, right? That you'd rub like this, and it's heat sensitive ink. And if you rub it, or apply heat to it, if you use a hair dryer or something like that, there's a hidden image under there as well that you don't see. So it's sort of a bit interactive as well.
That's really cool. Really cool. I can't wait to do some homework on that.
Yeah, they're really cool. And we're doing a little documentary on that at the moment as well. And this one's signed by the artist, Andy Hook, who's a local Melbourne artist. So we're going to send this along for you as well, Gary. As well.
Very kind. I'm going to put both of these things on my shelf, on my famous shelf in my office.
Well, we pulled something pretty damn cool that one of our viewers is going to have on his shelf tonight, Gaz. We pulled this number 25 of 25 from that box tonight, mate. We cracked that live in our stream only about an hour ago. It was unreal. Can you tell us a bit about this card?
Yeah, this is one of the top 20 collectible characters in our world. People love the Chinchilla. You know, you guys know this. You're the perfect age. Everybody wants to be cool. And so Chinchilla is just a cool cat in our world and very sought after. Obviously, many people, if they're watching this, are very aware of the rarity color structure in chrome, whether from Disney or Marvel or football or basketball or baseball. And we follow the same structure with our chrome. But you might also notice on the left corner something pretty important, which is the first chrome. Almost like, because we made trading cards with Zero Cool, a company that Topps actually bought in 21 and 22. These are not necessarily the rookie cards, but they may end up being the rookie cards because Topps is the first meaningful trading card company that we produce cards with. So we created that first Chrome badge that is very sought after. And so this has a lot going for it. Top 20, 25 character, obviously Chrome orange to 25, very rare. And then also Chinchilla is in this year's set that just came out, the 26, but it will not have that first Chrome badge on there. So a pretty sweet collectible.
That's a
Wow,
nice
and
one.
that's going home to Mikey Lamb, our regular viewer.
Mikey,
Actually
Yeah.
from New Zealand. He's an absolute superstar and always joining us on the show. So
Been
Gary V's approval on that one, Mikey. Straight to the pool room.
Give Gaz a look at this.
Yeah,
he was saying
he was
aware of
familiar with
mangas.
these. I've actually got the
there it is. Yep.
Yeah.
One Piece manga there as well. I'm not sure if you had a chance to get into those. But Japanese comic books. Are you expecting the same trajectory for something like this as the American OG comic books, Gary?
Yeah, I think you're seeing it already. I mean, like, I've bought a bunch of Japanese cards, predominantly the discs of Mario and Donkey Kong from the early 80s, which I deem as
Sick.
his rookie. And so I personally believe comics are about to get quite hot.
Yeah.
And I think, manga, I think is got an incredible opportunity. And I think One Piece is leading the way given its global popularity right now. And so, yeah, I do see the trajectory of these going quite well.
Excellent. And last but not least, I don't know if you're into this at all, Gary, but sealed VHS. What do you think about sealed VHS? Do you reckon they're sort of going to take the trajectory of sort of like your records and things like that, or you think?
Yeah, I've collected a lot of VHS video games, CDs, cassettes. I think these will be a little more niche.
Yep.
More action figures and things of that nature. But I am definitely pretty bullish alternative collectibles. Collectibles become collectibles usually because at first they're not a collectible.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
They get destroyed, they get used, and then some nerds like all of us come along and they're like, I want that still in the original package or things of that nature. So yeah, VHS and video games was very obvious to me for 20, 30 years. I've been bullish on them, and it's nice to see that they're finally gaining some traction.
There you go. Now these here, I don't know if you're familiar with the CGC Gold pedigree label as well. There's only a couple of pedigrees that I don't know if you've looked into this at all, Gary, but it's incredibly difficult to get a CGC pedigree label. This is only one of a couple of VHS pedigrees.
There are 2 sealed pedigrees.
Yeah, literally.
That's
it.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's really, really hard. This guy was from Detroit. He collected sealed VHSs for between the years of 1985 and 1995. And they sent his collection away. And the only reason he was able to get the pedigree is because he actually, with his own hand, wrote the dates that he purchased the VHS right there. And when he passed away, his wife, who inherited, I don't know if that's the right word, but had to all these VHSs, and in his honor, they had them pedigree labeled. And the most amazing thing about this collection, Gary, is because he hand wrote the dates, and very often he would store them with receipts. And it actually helped a lot of VHS historians, because you know how there's endless debate about what came out first, what watermark came out first. So his records and archives helped out a lot. And we've actually got a Motor City VHS here, Gary, and we're going to send this to you as well for your shelf.
Oh, yo!
So we've got a couple of absolute bangers coming your way.
You guys are incredibly great.
I hope you like Creature from the Black Lagoon. Classic horror.
One of the most expensive movie posters of all time as well. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Now, I just had a quick question for you, Gary, because, I just really want to pick your brain with this. Well, we may as well do one more. Cut back to Cam B. This is the rookie Luffy card.
I know the
absolute banger.
Wow.
Giving this one away in about 3 weeks' time on Welcome
18
Stranger.
days we give that
18
one away.
days we're giving this away to a viewer.
Everybody, make sure you get in on this one. This is a monster.
It's
This one, even I know this one.
It's a pretty big card. Had a meteoric. It's had a massive sort of rise. What did PSA say? It's gone.
PSA said it sold for $51 at auction in 2024, and sold recently at auction for 8,000 US. But then it just went to 12,000 US. So
yeah,
it's
2020.
yeah, and that's in a 9, and that's just in a 9. So
and I love what you
amazing.
do, Gary, as well, because one thing I think you're starting to do, from what I can gather, is you're starting to think, all right, where's everyone not looking? Where's the Mario rookie? Where's the Donkey Kong rookie? Where's this early stuff that you just know is probably only 1 or 2 Instagram posts from an influencer away from being sort of on everyone's hit list of what they want to buy. And we know cards can go from $50 to 15,000 very quickly.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm obsessed with vintage fictional.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, listen, one could, back to, there's good parts of influencers or people with audiences bringing awareness to something, and there's bad parts, which is people are pumping something that actually people don't care about. I know for fact people care about Spider-Man and the Hulk and Thor. Like, I know people care about Batman and Superman. So 1940 Gum Inc. Superman's rookie card, I don't need to debate if there's going to be a community for that.
Yeah.
The last 100 years, people have collected Superman. The 66 Spider-Man from Donruss Marvel, the 66 Hulk, Thor, you don't need to debate that, right? Mario. The Nintendo movies do billions of dollars globally when they come out. I don't need to debate if there's a market for Mario. By the way, it's why One Piece worked. These manga books have been out for 30 years. People have been reading them. People care. So yes, some of the things that I'm really interested in is like Scooby-Doo, Fred Flintstone, Bugs Bunny, some of these iconic cartoon characters. And then some stuff is regional, right?
I'll tell you what's, sorry, Gary, go on.
No.
Oh, yeah.
What you just showed me, right? Like that Garbage Pail Kids of Down Under, that's going to have regional affinity in Australia, whereas in the US it might have a little less. Some things are global, Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, and some things are regional. And yes, I do look for supply and demand. When there's, for example, I think when I looked at the PSA registry, I think there's 2 or 3 1966 Spider-Man PSA 10 rookie cards.
And do you think moving forward, let's just say something, because this is a debate we have all the time, something that only has a regional demand, do you think it still has potential to achieve massive prices? Or, I mean, look, obviously,
yes, because as you can imagine, right now, while we're having this podcast, somebody might be trying to buy the rights to those oddball cards and making a global movie that hits, and then out of nowhere, us Americans that had no clue about how awesome that was care, and it becomes so. What's amazing about intellectual property, which is why I'm building VFriends, in 19 years, I might make a cartoon about Chill Chinchilla that goes viral, like Beavis or Butthead or something like that, and all of a sudden that card that you showed mattered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, actually, we'll just bring that up. Where is that? Where is that Doc Fever again? The one that Gary Vee's talking about. Beautiful. Go to BCAN quickly. Yeah, so that's the one that you were saying, the Oddbods cards from back in the day, and these were actually found in chip packets, Gary. So like potato chip packets, like crisps. So like there was this really nostalgic vibe with them,
I'm very bullish that stuff. I actually own a lot of trading cards that came in cupcakes and cookies, in cereal, in chips, and in fact, I think it's Doug from Nickelodeon. His rookie card came in frozen food pastries, SpongeBob. So yeah, it makes sense why something like this would be sought after based on that origin story.
Signed by the artist Andy Hook as well, Gary. And look, one thing I wanted to ask you as well, Gary, is like, so this whole collectibles thing, it's been going pretty crazy for the best part of 10 years now. In your opinion, like, where are we at as far as up the mountain?
It's a great question. I don't know. What I can tell you is in the macro, collectibles, watches, handbags, vintage clothes, hats, cards, coins, pins, manga, comics, action figures. In the macro, it's early.
Yeah.
It's no longer uncool to collect. Now it is very cool to collect. So it's over. I believe collectibles has joined sports, music, fashion, food, travel as a lifestyle genre.
Yeah.
But in the micro, it's very dangerous.
What do
In
you-
the micro,
Yeah.
in the micro, one piece can lose 50% from where it's at right now.
Yeah.
In the micro, I mean, sports is very dangerous because you're betting on an athlete. And if look at Derrick Rose in basketball, one of the great basketball players of all time. He wins MVPs at a very young age. You think he's going on to be one of the 100 best players of all time. And then unfortunately, what happens in sports, he got injured.
Yeah, absolutely. And then,
You know,
yeah,
you three, you know, you might pay top dollar for a Batman collectible because you know the Batman movie's coming out and the movie flops and the next four movies flop and Batman will never go away. But if you paid $100,000 for something in 3 years, could it be 25,000? Of course. Now in 16 years, it could be $250,000. So in the macro, collectibles has never been better, and I think we're early. In the micro, there is going to be an amazing amount of money being lost because people are speculating on athletes, people are speculating on little niche things. You know, right now, a kid, 15-year-old Gary, if he was listening to this, would get inspired to spend 100 hours to try to find low production niches, but he might pick the wrong one.
absolutely. I get what you're saying. And like, having said that, how much opportunity do you think is out there? So I mean, here's the thing. It's like a lot of people say the more money you spend, the safer the investment is, right? But like what you just said, it can also have a bit of a sharp drop. I actually think what you're saying is like finding things that aren't quite in the limelight yet, not spending massive amounts of money, spending small amounts of money on
Yes.
things that people aren't looking at. It's just so much
Look,
safer.
you know, it sounds like you and I, and you guys and I see the same thing. When you went and found and hunted down those One Piece packs, you were doing enough homework that you knew there was potential with what was coming for this to really matter. That's how my brain works. When I started to see people buying up Marvel and Disney Chrome and spending $4,000 for an Iron Man Superfractor, but then Iron Man's 1966 rookie card was $100, that made no sense.
Exactly.
So yes, I mean, I spend
And-
countless hours trying to figure
Work it
out
out, yeah.
a zig.
Yeah.
And because I grew up with no money, I'm always thinking small dollars.
Yeah.
And I think you just brought up the best part of the hobby, which is somebody can go make a play on something that's $15, $20 a piece. Now, where people make a mistake is they try to manipulate after they buy. One thing that I make sure I don't do is when I buy something, I don't go and tell everyone, oh, you know, and I don't make every post you got to buy because then you're manipulating and that's bad.
Yeah.
But if you're investing and you're being thoughtful and you maybe like for example, there's a new Supergirl movie out right now. It doesn't look like it's going to go crazy. So it doesn't look like this is going to work out, but I'm sure many people bought Supergirl's first appearance comic 6 months ago, right? And I'm sure it's gone up a little bit. It didn't become a smash hit, but these are the things you're looking for. And whether it's Smurfs or Garfield or Hello Kitty or Betty Boop, there's so many incredible IPs and collectibles that are still very underpriced compared to how many people love them.
Yeah. And do you think that inevitably it can't be denied that let's just say, like you said, oh yeah, you know, there's been an Iron Man card drop and it's going absolutely bonkers. Do you believe that there has to be? There's no other way. It's impossible that there isn't some kind of link between what's happening in the modern going back to the vintage, even if, like you said, the vintage card is sitting there at $100, no one wants it.
I think, but you know this, you're smart. It's a smart question. I believe that the rookie, the first book, the first coin, the first pin, the first toy, the first trading card, the first comic book, often is underpriced when things like this are happening because people want the new thing. They want the gambling component of opening and
that's the one thing vintage doesn't have. It's that gambling component, right? Yeah, because you're just
but
buying.
Good news. I want to encourage kids and grown-ups that are watching to become more investors and less gamblers.
Absolutely. Oh, 100%,
So,
Gary.
look. I mean, it's one. I apologize. I need to run now. But my last point. Listen. Unfortunately, I'm not God, and so I could die tomorrow. But if I don't, I think one of the coolest things to take a bet on is VFriends, because I have a 30-year track record of building major companies.
Yeah.
And now I'm putting all my passions into this, and so, and by the way, back to regional, our distribution is predominantly in the US. So being a leading collector in Aussie, around, or New Zealand around VFriends becomes an opportunity. And so we're looking for these things. This is the game we're all playing,
Yeah.
and it's a fun game, which makes it awesome.
And massive opportunity, like you said, with the new rare box coming out. Get your hands on this, guys. Gary Vee, VFriends. Just cut to B Cam for one more second. Fizz, we're going to send you this as well. Little family gesture. This is my uncle, Lester Ellis. He was a boxer in the 80s. We made this little card for him. It's a rookie auto. It's got Welcome Stranger on it.
5-time world champion.
5-time world champ. We're going to put this in your parcel as well, Gary. Cut back. So again, thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you for
keep up
having
the
me.
great work, and we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Oh, that's better. That's way better. I like